It is Monday, January the 30th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Pearson Bowen, and this is the CBC Morning Report. A number of questions are being raised this morning as chicken losses for one female farmer go viral about a number of dead birds which she has on her hands. However, James Paul, the Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, told CBC News it did come to his attention and has prompted his calls for a modern vet lab.
When I listen to the total replay, is this that it emphasizes the need that we have in this country for a properly equipped veterinary laboratory. Because, you know, while I understand her, she was guessing, or the thing from the veterinary officer indicated it might be the feed or whatever, it is very hard to say exactly what are the issues involved in terms of those birds dying without a proper autopsy being done on those dead birds. In the past, what used to happen, and the Barbados Egg and Poultry Producers Association of the BAS used to play a critical role in this, is that when farmers had birds in such a situation, what happened is that they carried it to the veterinary laboratory, which at the time was staffed by a very qualified vet, which is Mr. Dr. Stevenson John. And he was able to at least give the farmers at least a reason why those birds died. But this demands good equipment, and I think that one of the issues that certainly our local poultry industry and of course the government will need to examine is that how do we equip the veterinary laboratory in the Pine, which I know that the Trapman has been asking for a while, with the type of equipment that will allow them to be able to respond to farmers when they face circumstances such as these. So I think that, you know, I listened to the young lady, and I think that definitely that she does need help, but there are a whole myriad of issues, as she herself identified, with the whole question of the birds dying, and really what you will want to see as we go ahead, and a lot of small farmers have that difficulty, is that how do we get veterinary services more readily available to small farmers, so that, for instance, they are able to take the type of action that are necessary to prevent these things from happening as we go forward in expanding our local poultry industry.
Mr. Paul also took time to update on the biggest agricultural expo, AgroFest, which comes on at the end of February. He says the emphasis will be on pushing local produce.
Have a lot of the local agriculture products on display. So AgroFest 2023, that is one of the things that we will certainly be highlighting, a lot of our local agriculture products. The other thing is that we want to encourage our local service providers who actually, people do not understand that one of the things is that we need service providers to help to support our local agricultural sector. And that is why, for instance, we have the other service providers, include both government and non-government service providers, who will be there at AgroFest helping people. We are also looking to introduce seminars at AgroFest this year, where, for instance, persons who have very basic questions on production, how do you actually, you know, do certain things to ensure that things you're doing it well. Same point that we're raising with the same young lady who was in the same social media post that was done. You know, we want to help people and encourage them to take advantage of the technical expertise that we have in terms of managing the agricultural operations better. So yeah, we're looking forward to it, and I think that you know, the horticulture show this year was, I think, that's a good start at the beginning of the year, and we hopefully, as we go into AgroFest next month, which is at the February 24th to the 26th, that we are hoping, of course, to also build on that, so that, for instance, during the year, we will have a bountiful year in terms of agricultural production.
You're watching the CBC Morning Report. We'll take a break here, but coming up, we'll tell you too about some deficiencies at hospitals in Jamaica.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring.
Jamaica's Ministry of Health is seeking to improve the country's health sector after deficiencies at hospitals. We have a report now from CVM TV.
Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton says the ministry is seeking to make workable adjustments in special care nursery facilities to prevent further challenges. This comes after 12 newborns died at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital last year, which led to the opposition calling for the minister's resignation. To reduce the cluster of bacterial infection detected at the hospital, the ministry invited the Pan American Health Organization (PAO) to conduct further investigation last October. Dr. Tufton notes in reviewing the findings, the ministry intends to work assiduously to avoid a recurrence.
Moving around people from one place to the next, it in some instances may mean even depriving other parts of the institution with the ideal numbers, because there is a genuine staff shortage. The intention is to recognize the vulnerabilities of these neonates. The facility, many of them compromised because they're in a highly sensitive area, and to see what adjustments could be made to move as quickly as possible to the recommended ratios.
He disclosed the ministry is looking to provide greater care for newborns in the public health sector. He says enabling earlier detection is paramount to decrease morbidity and mortality.
Our current assessment suggests a total of over 2,500 posts which have been requested, and some agreement reached with the Ministry of Finance as part of its public sector restructuring arrangements for improvements in the numbers of our cadre of doctors. So we have additional posts. The challenge now is to fill those posts.
After a week of the Princess Margaret Hospital in the Bahamas being dragged on social media, the Prime Minister, Philip Davis, along with Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville, led a tour of the embattled facility over the weekend to survey the situation.
What we see was not challenges, but truly crises.
Amid public outcry for major improvements at the Princess Margaret Hospital, the nation's leader, Philip Davis, and Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, were taking on a tour of the property, which is currently undergoing extensive renovations while still catering to the needs of the public. Some of those patients being treated in less than ideal conditions.
We see patients in corridors, on gurneys. We see the tight spaces in which the nurses and doctors are operating, and it just heightens the urgency of now that we do what we need to do, and do it very swiftly and quickly. We were hearing about it, we heard it saying the news about it, but to come and walk and experience it, it is truly heart-wrenching to see what we have today. But we will fix it.
Darville noting that the PMH has the potential to hold some of 500 beds. He says these renovations move the hospital one step closer to that reality.
Male medical 2 is being repaired, which will bring on additional bed space. Female medical 1 will be back into the system. Then we are renovating the basement of the eye ward, and shortly we will award a contract for the eye ward itself. That will bring on additional bed space to the Princess Margaret Hospital. And while that's being done, then of course it's our responsibility to move to the pediatric ward. But the first thing was to ensure that the structural integrity of the building that we plan to renovate was able to handle the renovation that is foreshadowed.
Managing Director of the Public Hospitals Authority, Abinette Roll, explains that although the hospital has entered into an agreement with the Doctors Hospital, not all of those patients are in conditions to be moved. She says numbers have risen from 356 to 424, creating some challenges.
Really being in that virtual space. And that is where the levels of concerns are, because that is really in the corridor, in the emergency room, in the chapels, sitting in chairs, because that is what we're seeing. Doctors Hospital is taking patients under our contractual agreement. However, they have to be more stabilized patients. As I expressed previously, what we're now seeing is unstable patients.
Now, each ward has varying completion dates, but officials say renovations are expected to be completed on target.
In Trinidad now, the opposition filed a private motion on the failure of the government to deliver on its health sector mandate. Member of Parliament for Faizabad, Dr. Lakram Bodo, raised a number of issues, among them customer service, lack of medicines and long waiting times for clinic appointments and surgeries. Dr. Bodo also raised the issue of the lack of employment opportunities for young doctors.
In 2015-2016, Mr. Deputy Speaker, a situation arose in this country for the very first time where hundreds of young doctors who had graduated completed their internships and were unable to be offered jobs in the public health sector. And this is in a situation where there was a shortage of doctors and complaints about poor service in the hospitals. So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I want to make the point that we cannot as a nation invest millions of taxpayers' dollars in training young doctors and then failing to employ them.
In response to the MP's motion, Minister of Health Terence Dialsing said the motion was devoid of any substance.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, it is an absolute tragedy when errors happen in any health sector as they do around the world. But how we treat with those errors in a political environment is despicable. The member brought up the issue of the eye surgery, an absolute tragedy, we agree. But did we on this side seek to make political hay out of the accident on Baby Cottle?
A report there from Carrie Roberts on TTT Live. A regional education law school is to be constructed in Guyana. The school is among several projects to be rolled out by the Chambers of the Attorney General in 2023. The update was provided by the Attorney General during his budget presentation to the National Assembly.
While throwing jabs at his opposition counterparts in the Assembly, the Attorney General posited that in 2017 it was publicly announced that the then APNU AFC government had allegedly gained permission to establish a law school in the country from the Council of Legal Education. The minister related to the Assembly that shortly after that announcement, it was revealed that the Council of Legal Education never actually granted permission for such an institution to be established here. Nandlal said that despite what transpired during the APNU AFC regime, his government subsequently acquired permission from the authorized body to set up the legal institution in Guyana.
Last year, September, permission was granted by the Council of Legal Education, the proper authority, for us to begin work on the establishment of a law school here.
The minister further posited that the government of the day has established a team comprising members from the Bar Association, the University of Guyana, and the judiciary to help attain the objectives of the institution. He also went on to speak about the establishment of the Constitutional Reform Commission and the renovation, upgrades and repairs made to several magistrates' courts and buildings related to the legal profession throughout the country.
Many businesses in the Bahamas have transitioned workers back to full-time in the office, but some countries are considering another option that may be in interest of quite a few workers.
The 40-hour work week may be on its way out in some countries, as a new International Labor Organization report found that reduced working hours and flexible working arrangements can benefit economies, workers, and lead to a healthy work-life balance. The report, Working Time and Work-Life Balance Around the World, focuses on the actual number of hours of work, work schedules, and their implications for work-life balance. Global Occupational Safety and Health Lead at ILO, Manal Azi, explains the importance of maintaining balance.
The COVID-19 pandemic Also to spotlight on work-life balance, as large numbers of workers shifted to working from home and often found that boundaries between work and personal life can become blurred, resulting in possibly negative consequences for well-being.
Protecting the physical and mental health of workers is a mandate of the ILO.
Mental health at work has a huge impact on society and the world of work, with 12 billion working days lost every year due to depression and anxiety.
So what did the study find on work-life balance? For one, the classic work week of 8 hours per day for 5 to 6 days per week provides stability, but, quote, fixed schedules are often too inflexible to allow time for family demands as needed. As a result, the report found that part-time work of less than 35 hours per week with predictable schedules give workers more time for their personal responsibilities and leisure, which leads to a better balance between paid work and personal life. It also noted that public policy may be needed to promote reductions in work hours in many countries, while companies may want to regulate flexible arrangements with a right to disconnect from work policy.
A protester has been killed in Peru during confrontations between demonstrators and police. That takes the number of those who have died during the unrest to 58 since former President Pedro Castillo was impeached and imprisoned earlier this last month. Roads in the south have been blocked by protesters after mainly indigenous leaders called a national strike. Food and fuel are running out in the region. The government has deployed the army to the region of Puno. The protesters say they will not move. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports.
This is the road to the Puno region of southern Peru. A humanitarian truce is supposed to be in place to allow food and fuel through along the 400-kilometer route from the Andean city of Cusco. The road has been blocked for nearly a month by indigenous communities. They tell us they're outraged about the deaths of more than 50 protesters, almost all of them here in southern Peru, since President Dina Boluarte took office in December.
We want all this to change. We want Boluarte out. We want the Congress out. We women are going to fight till the very end.
Peru's southern Andean region is worlds apart from the capital or the north. This is home to poor, mostly indigenous farmers and miners who voted for Peru's now deposed president, Pedro Castillo. But his removal, they tell me, is no longer what's feeding a regional uprising.
Peru is rich in natural resources, but what good does it do us? We get no support from the government from the sale of our minerals and gas. We're still as poor as our ancestors. That's why we're finally rising up.
The traffic starts moving, but not for long.
Well, so much for the 24-hour truce. This road is blocked. No one's going forward or backwards. We're trying to get to the front to see if there's any chance they'll let us pass.
Not a single one of us is a terrorist or being paid by drug traffickers like the government says. We are here out of conviction.
Eventually, a few of us are allowed to pass, but only to the next roadblock.
The people on this side aren't letting anybody pass, even though they really don't have that much to stop us. But it underscores the fact that there is no central leadership here.
The closer we get to Puno, the bigger the roadblocks. People cart or drag their goods as best they can, but they don't complain.
This protest is taking place 24 hours a day. Each community takes turns blocking the road.
The protesters hear the news that Congress has just refused again to meet their demand for immediate national elections. A clear sign that, like traffic on this road, Peru's acute political conflict is at a standstill.
We're just moments away from the start of Morning Barbados. When you join me then, as February approaches, Go Red for Women, the annual campaign. What is it about? What's involved? How can you be a part of it? And why it's important, we'll share with you straight ahead. Also, the Windrush compensation scheme, the call continues. The Reverend Badilari will join us as we talk more on that. And when our relationship coach joins us this morning, Dr. Denise Charles, we want to look at the whole question of sweet talk. When the words are just too sweet to be real, can you identify? We'll talk about that and a whole lot more straight ahead at 6:30 on Morning Barbados. You're watching the CBC Morning Report. We're back in just a moment.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
Minister of Energy and Business Development, Senator Lisa Cummins, has made a call for more equity partners in Barbados. Her comments came as she addressed the 25th anniversary dinner of Fund Access at the Sandals Resort on Saturday night. Minister Cummins told the audience such partnerships would strengthen the service offered to small and medium-sized enterprises.
It is time for us to become partners with the credit unions of this country, with the financing institutions of the region, to be able to expand the scope of what you do, to create a greater level of financing for small and medium-sized enterprises, to create blended finance opportunities so that you have a combination of debt and equity. In some instances, you will take on debt. In other instances, you will take on equity partners, and those equity partners come with expertise that sometimes we need.
The minister also told the audience that equity partnerships bring value and expertise to the table.
Sometimes we want to be 100% in charge of something small. But if we were to partner and have the benefit of an equity partner who brings value and expertise in ways that we don't have, we could become a 50% or 60% partner in something that is magnificent. Something that is global, something that is beyond your imagination. We need to begin to change the culture of dependence on debt and credit only.
The Anglican Bishop of Barbados, the Right Reverend Michael Maxwell, is saddened by the news of the pending closure of government's National Beautification Program and is calling on Barbadians to play their part to assist those who will be soon on the breadline.
I too am saddened by those many persons who will once again be on the breadline due to the government's financial position and inability to continue the beautification program. But God requires that we, His people, work towards helping these persons in whatever way we can, who lack many of the privileges or basic needs many of us may possess, and not to overlook them. Not to say it is your fault you didn't have a good education, that's why. But to help the powerless.
Bishop Maxwell was at the time delivering the sermon at the St. Barnabas Anglican Church for the 55th anniversary of the Barbados Community College. He also praised the institution for its contributions over the years and its renewed focus on entrepreneurship.
I'm hearing now that the student body of BCC is placing great emphasis on entrepreneurship. and I dare say led by a good friend of mine, Joshua Harris, who is here present, then a sound education in related fields is certainly necessary, and surely BCC is one of those institutions offering a wide variety of subjects, of courses that will enable such an achievement in life.
Have been reassured of Canada's commitment to regional security in the face of the threats including crime, human and drug trafficking and cybersecurity. High Commissioner to Barbados Lillian Chatterjee says the responsibilities of security forces to meet those challenges and keep citizens safe are growing and evolving. She says peace and security in the Caribbean impacts peace and security in Canada and vice versa. Ambassador Chatterjee was at the time addressing the close of a 2-week training exercise by the Canadian Army Exercise Planning and Execution course at the RSS headquarters in Barbados.
We need strong and vibrant partnerships to respond effectively to security threats in our region and beyond. That's why Canada is a partner in the exercise Tradewinds. This exercise is designed to promote regional security and improve cooperation and interoperability in responding to the broad spectrum of threats to the Caribbean. The Canadian Army Exercise Planning and Execution course, which you have completed, provides practical experience in planning through an entire exercise cycle. So you're not only prepared to plan and conduct training, but also to provide this course material to other members.
Dozens of security officials from Barbados and the region benefited from the exercise planning and execution course. They were drawn up from Regional Security System, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, and regional police forces. The training, which comes ahead of the exercise Tradewinds, builds upon a Canadian-led training for members of the Barbados Defence Force, the RSS headquarters, the Barbados Police Service, and the Barbados Fire Service held in March 2020. Deputy Director of the RSS, Graham Archer, expressed thanks to its partners, noting that the training at this time is essential.
The opportunities for large numbers of our personnel to participate in Tradewinds is limited. We have not had youth exercise for a number of years, at least 10 years I think it is. We've not had the funding, and now that we may be able to host it with funding from our international partners, we have to get people trained, because we've not been doing it for so long. I don't think that there are enough personnel in forces now who are equipped with the skills to plan and execute unity exercise. And that will be in, as General said again, in 2024 in St. Lucia.
India are the champions of the inaugural ICC Women's Under-19 T20 World Cup after they defeated England by 7 wickets in the final. Sent in to bat, England were bowled out for just 68 in 17.1 overs, and India replied with 69 for 3 in 14. Here are some highlights. All right, let's take a look at the weather now as forecast conditions were recorded earlier at the Met Office of the Grant Lee Adams International Airport. 21.9 degrees Celsius it is at the moment in Barbados. Under cloudy conditions, the winds are coming from the east-northeast at 22 kilometers an hour. Expect today a low tide at 16 past 6 this evening and a high tide at 8 minutes to 11 this morning. Seas today are predicted to be smooth to moderate in open water, swells ranging from 1 to 2 meters and increasing. In the forecast for Barbados today, sunny with cloudy periods with a few brief isolated light showers. And for Barbados tonight, it is partly cloudy with a few brief isolated light showers. A look now at some forecast conditions for some international cities. And that's the CBC Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning.
Good morning to you indeed. Welcome to Monday, January the 30th, 2023. Hope you had a lovely weekend. I surely did, and thank you so much for waking up to join me. I'm Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us on our streams, on YouTube and Facebook as well, interacting among yourselves and interacting with us as well. We love it indeed. Now, coming up today, a chance for you to have some fun with us as we see again to unscramble some letters, so stand by for that and a whole lot more. Plus, we'll also be talking a little bit about the upcoming Richard Stout T20 Classic and Kids Fun Day. What's that about? The details we shall share with you this morning on how you can come have some fun, but also watch some very entertaining and exciting cricket as well. The author of the book, Lilac Honey, will join us today as we turn the pages with her to get to know a little bit more about that collection of poems and poetry. Our relationship coach, Dr. Denise Charles, will join us this morning. We want to look at sweet talk. You know what I'm talking about. And when the talk is just way too sweet, can you detect how fraudulent or not it could possibly be? What do you do when someone runs sweet talk on you? How is that important to our relationship as well? We'll talk more about that in just a moment. The Windrush compensation scheme continues. The call for payback continues, and the Reverend Buddy Larry will join us as he continues his championship of that particular cause. But I want to get started this morning as we turn our attention to what's happening in February as we focus on the heart. And joining us as we look at Go Red for Women, the campaign is Dr. Dawn Scanterbury, consultant interventionist, cardiologist and medical director. She's with the Heart and Stroke Foundation as well. And Greta Yearwood, administrative coordinator with the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us indeed. Now, this celebration, Go Red for Women, is part of a campaign led by the American Heart Association, and the Barbados Heart and Stroke Foundation has also joined in this. Dr. Dawn, I want to start with you. Talk to me a little bit about the relationship between our association and the American Heart Association.
So we are very strongly affiliated with the Association. Some of our courses and programs are actually the overall body that encompasses them is the American Heart Association. So emergency cardiac care, which includes things like CPR courses for lay people, CPR courses for medical providers. So that's ACLS and BLS. Those are certified by the American Heart Association, and we are an official training center. We also follow very closely and promote the American Heart Association recommendations on cardiovascular disease prevention, so Life Simple 7, Life Essential 8, or core to our guidelines and recommendations on prevention of cardiovascular disease. And then, of course, we, coming back around to why we're here, we are officially a Go Red site where we spend a little time each year highlighting the need for focus on heart disease in women, because traditionally heart disease has been considered to be a male disease. So the reason why we're here today is to remind people that heart disease is the #1 cause of death in women. 1 in 3 women will die from a heart attack or a stroke every year, and to remind everyone that this is something that will touch you at some time in your life.
1 in 3 women will be impacted or die from heart disease. What are the factors that would lead to that kind of a statistics?
So in general, cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death in everyone. And a lot of it has to do with the way our society is. We are a sedentary society. We don't eat properly. We don't eat like, our distant ancestors used to eat from the earth. So obesity is rising, and with that, there's attendant risks of diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, which ultimately cause death through that final common denominator of cardiovascular disease. So we're talking about heart attack, we're talking about stroke, we're talking about peripheral vascular disease, which includes diabetic foot disease and those amputations we hear about all the time. We're talking about heart failure. So those, when we look at the diagnoses that lead to death, and are the most common diagnoses that lead to death worldwide, are included in that cardiovascular disease umbrella, and those are very often modifiable through healthy lifestyles. There are a non-modifiable but one of the reasons for that, this explosion of cardiovascular disease that we have worldwide, is a lot of lifestyle. Smoking is also something I need to raise. It's not necessarily as much a problem in Barbados, but there may be an upsurge in that recently as well.
The statistic you gave earlier of 1 in every 3 women will be impacted and probably die from this cardiovascular disease, is that the statistic for Barbados? And if not, how does Barbados compare?
So the statistic is 1 in 3 women will die. About 50% of women will have some cardiovascular disease. So it is actually, and probably even more than that. In Barbados, I am not exactly sure of the exact, 1 in whatever. We very often mirror world data very closely. I can tell you for sure cardiovascular disease is the most common cause of death, and specifically ischemic heart disease or coronary artery disease. So when we look at the BNR statistics, well, that's the Barbados National Registry of Non-Communicable Diseases. About 500 people sustain a heart attack every year, 550 in the most recent data. And when you look at the male-female breakdown, it's slightly more men than women, but not that many. So it's about half and half. So and for a country of our size, that statistic of 550 deaths is actually exactly on par, or maybe even a little bit higher than countries across the world. So we are about the same. We do the same. Yeah.
So Mr. Yearwood, here we are now with the Go Red campaign. Talk to me a little bit about it. When does it start, and why is it so important to do the Go Red campaign? What is it focusing on?
Okay, the focus is on the wearing of the National Go Red Day, which is on Friday the 3rd. It usually falls on the first Friday in February. The actual campaign is the Go Red for Women campaign, which the foundation has become a member since 2012. But it's only the following year that we embrace the National Wear Red Day. And since then, we have been focusing on persons, asking the general public to support us in wearing red. Red anything, it could be lipstick, it could be clothing, it could be anything. We're asking persons to wear red in support of the National Go Red Day.
I see you've already started from the frames of the glasses, from your shirt, your lipstick even. And so you're asking particularly all week in February, the first week of February, for everyone, anyone, everywhere to wear red in support. But there's a little bit more to the campaign. Can you walk us through, once people wear red, what else can we do? And in what spaces can we display our red?
Okay, we're asking persons. We have partnered with some financial institutions. At this moment, it's First Caribbean Bank. We have Digicel. As you notice, I'm speaking to those with the red. We are expecting Barbados Light and Power to come on board, and also Scotia Bank, where we will place our donation boxes within their institutions. And there's some individual business houses who would be carrying our donation boxes. So we're asking persons to give freely to the cause that Dawn would have, earlier mentioned about the heart disease in women. And the men, we're also asking to buy into it, because it's not so much a female gender issue. It is that every man has a mother, has a sister, has an aunt. So we're asking them to support us in that way. So this is why now we're asking persons on the first Friday in February, which is Friday coming, and also every Friday in the month of February, to support the cause of wearing red for women who would have suffered heart disease and those cardiac diseases.
So into these donation boxes, what should we put?
You're going to place any monetary contribution. We're asking you to place any monetary contribution within the donation boxes. Or if you don't see a donation box, you can feel free to come to our location at the Heart and Stroke Foundation on Gemma's Lane, and we will kindly accept your donation.
I like you're encouraging people also to decorate their office red, eat something red, like an apple, grapes, strawberries. Just get involved in it. Yeah,
yes. Share lunch. If you're sharing lunch with someone, a red apple, a bunch of grapes, something red. Guys, you can wear a red tie, you can wear your red shoes, you can, wear
red
your
socks.
Red shirt, anything red socks, anything red. We are asking you to participate in this campaign with us.
And what I love is that the things that we eat are all healthy for us. The apple, the grapes, the fruits, those are all really rich and good for us. And the tomatoes, gentlemen, because, we tend to turn our noses away from tomatoes, but tomatoes are also a good fruit in which to eat. So all February long, that's what we're going to be doing. We're trying to incorporate more of those red fruits and vegetables into our diets. We also want to encourage you to decorate your offices in red, to wear red, to celebrate the color red. Look into the donation boxes, make a deposit there, or you can head over to the Gemma's Lane office of the Barbados Heart and Stroke Foundation, make your deposit there also. But to share in all of this, because we're one community, and we want each of us to put our hearts into this as well. So how can we share from how we celebrate and mark the occasion all month long in February?
Okay, we're asking all participants if they can take a photo and tag it to our social media pages. Hashtag us at hsfbarbados.com, and put the event onto yours where the participants are wearing their red. You just put it onto our social media pages and tag us, your social media pages, and also tag us.
See, it's going to be a lot of fun all February. It's not just hard work, it's a lot of fun. So it's your time to put your heart into it. Go red for the right reasons and against the fight against disease in women. Get involved, wear red. Remember, this and every Friday during the month of February, share red. Post your photos on the web page or social media platforms. Remember to tag the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. You see the information right there on your screen. So let's make a choice. Let's go red for women. This so you can wear your red hat, your red dress, your red shoes, your red tie, your red socks, your everything red. That's what we're doing in February. And so, Dr. Dawn, before we go, I'm sure there's some medical things that you'd want people to pay greater attention to too in the month of February as we go red for women.
Yes. So one of the main reasons for this campaign is to focus on that awareness. And I'm not just speaking to men or to women here, but also to men. to recall anyone in your life who may have had some issue with heart disease. So be it your mother, your sister, the baby that was born with a hole in the heart, something like that. Think about that, bring it front and center, because when you start to make it personal, you tend to lead, that tends to lead to more action. And the action that I'm asking you to do is to focus on those activities that reduce your risk from heart disease and make it a family thing and a friend thing, which includes exercising more, losing weight if you're overweight, eating healthy, eat more from the earth, more plants, and also stop smoking. And then if you do have some entities such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and cholesterol, work with your doctor to make sure that those.
Excellent advice indeed from Dr. Dawn Canterbury, consultant interventionalist cardiologist and the medical director of the Cardiac Disease Prevention and Rehabilitation Program with the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. And with her is Greta Yearwood as admin coordinator of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. Thank you, ladies. I encourage all of us, indeed everyone, males and females, to go red for women in February. Starting this Friday, we wear something red. I have now to go home and wardrobe and start to dig up to find it. But I'm sure we can all find something, from the sock to the something. Just wear something red and eat those things that are red. The apple, the grapes, the strawberries, the tomatoes, all of those lovely things. And encourage the children along the way as well to get involved, everybody. Thank you so much. All the best with the campaign. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Morning Barbados takes a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Maxback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Matchback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan of War segment. Share your amazing story.
As my part of my identity. I think those two stands out for me, and as well as for my readers.
Writing, you're not foreign to write. How is this your first publication, by the way?
Yes, my first own publication. I have written anthologies before, contributed to anthologies. By me womb, I've recently contributed to Tales of Silk, Root and Bone. It's a folklore anthology, a Trinidadian folklore anthology.
What does writing mean to you? Being able to spill onto the page what you see, what you think. What does that mean to you?
Sometimes writing is about building worlds for me. Sometimes it's about getting out emotions that I never knew that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's about healing myself.
About healing yourself. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And so for you, it's somewhat therapeutic as well. Do you have any, I mean, I guess all of your poems are your little children. So therefore, there's one favorite. They're all in some way. You know, as with children, there's always one who has a little extra. Do you have a particular poem that you think, oh, this one I truly, truly love? And if so, what is it?
Yes, I do have a favorite. I think it's the
It'll come back to you, don't worry. So it'll come back to you. This has happened to all of us early in the morning. It's on the tip of your tongue, and just when you want to recall it, it appears. Happens even to me as well. But there's some that you have that are favorites, and then there's some that are, all right. So as people turn the pages of Lilac Honey, the book, I'm sure you're going to take us possibly through different moods and different seasons of one's life and the like. So can you explain to me, when we turn those pages, poem by poem by poem, the different kinds of experiences we can expect?
Yes. You could, the different feelings that you might come across: happiness, sadness, loss, grief, heartbreak, some love, different types of love, family, self-love, romantic love, platonic love, and you can also come across things in nature as well. Yeah, that's about it.
So all of those things we can experience as we turn the pages of Lilac Honey. That's the name of the book. Where is it available, by the way? Is it available online as well?
Yes, it's available on Amazon, and I have it available at RIK. It's a bookstore in Trinidad. It's also available at Pebbles and Quills in Trinidad. Also at Val's Book Nook in Trinidad, and Jaru's in Trinidad. Mostly in Trinidad.
Yes,
but you can get it online at Amazon.
On Amazon we can
So any
indeed.
bookstore in Barbados wants to hit me up, feel free.
Lilac is actually your favorite color. You know, when you think about it, lilac is such a soothing color as well. You know, it's one of those very, you got the idea. It's very calming, it's very special, and the fragrance, lilac alone, you know, is really soft and sensuous. So that, no doubt, the combination with the honey makes this a very delightful read. Once we take up the book, Lilac Honey, we buy it from Amazon or we buy it from any of the bookstores in Trinidad, for those of you viewing from Trinidad. And you can turn the pages, and as you do, your spirit is calmed. You go through the emotions, yes, but it is a refreshing experience with Amina Ali. That's her name, Amina Ali. She's the author of the book Lilac Honey. Is there any other project in your mind that you can't wait to put together, to write, to publish?
Oh, most definitely. I am actually working on a short story collection. It's based around Caribbean themes in what's is a society goes through, and actually too I'm working on my second poetry collection as well, and my debut novel, which leads up to the short story collection. But it's all at a slow pace, so I can't say when it's going to be published.
Yes, yes. So, but how does it work for you? How does your little life go? Because you know you have so much bubbling in your head. Do you have time for fun?
Yes, actually, majority of the time I think my ideas and my concentration for writing comes out at night. So yeah,
I love
I find
it.
it hard to
Indeed.
write during the day.
So
I just collect ideas during the day.
you collect ideas during the day and you write at night, and so you spend some time having
Yes.
some fun and doing regular day things, and then at night, oh, the pen comes out, and look out, it is there to hit the page indeed. And you've been doing this now quite a number of years.
Yes.
So anyone who has
I've,
been anyone who's been to school with you and they look at what you produce, are they surprised, or they're thinking, nah, she's always been like that anyway?
some friends who have known about it, they were surprised. Some who didn't know about it, they were still surprised. You know, they couldn't believe, okay, I have something as one to call my own.
Yes, yes. Is there any one particular poem do you have the book with you at the moment?
Yes.
Good. Could you turn to the first one? Your first one, I believe, is called The Palette and the Canvas. Am I right?
That's the introduction of the whole shebang of introducing Lilac Honey.
Okay. So could you read for me the very first poem?
Sure. Okay.
Now you see, this is what makes a good book for me, the very first one. Let's see. You ready?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The world in her. Mama, tell her that she is the world filled with countries, languages, and translations, places, capital cities, and tongues to know. Tell her that there are roads, streets, and highways that she needs to know where to take and where not to. Tell her that she owns currencies upon currencies that knows of her worthwhile worthiness. Tell her that there would be disasters where she would be in times of need to be ready in all readiness prepared. Mama, tell her that there are many ancestral lines running along her world map, created from histories, traditions, and celebratory liberations. Mama, tell her that she carries the world within herself, even though she's a dotted dot on a map of 7 billion. Tell her, Mama, tell her that she has much thorough discoveries in need of bringing meaning to. So this is the illustration, if you all can see.
Yes, I see it. Yes.
To go with the poem. This is the first poem of the book.
Nice. Tell her, Mama. Tell her. What an urgent call indeed. Love it. Love it indeed. Amina Ali, the author of the book Lilac Honey, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I wish you much success with the sale of this book and with your future projects, which you already have bursting in your head. Can't wait to put together as well. So thank you so much for joining us on Morning Barbados today. We wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye, everyone.
You're welcome. Bye-bye indeed. Amina Ali from Trinidad and Tobago, the author of the book Lilac Honey. We'll take a break here. We're coming back in just a moment with the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer,
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's a minute and a half after 7. A number of questions are being raised this morning as chicken losses for one female farmer go viral about a number of dead birds which she has on her hands. However, James Paul, the Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, told CBC News it did come to his attention and has prompted his calls for a modern vet lab.
When I listen to the total replay, is this that it emphasizes the need that we have in this country for a properly equipped veterinary laboratory, because, you know, while I understand her, she was guessing, or the thing from the veterinary officer indicated it might be the feed or whatever. It is very hard to say exactly what are the issues involved in terms of those birds dying without a proper autopsy being done on those dead birds. In the past, what used to happen, and the Barbados Egg and Poultry Producers Association of the BAS used to play a critical role in this, is that when farmers had birds in such a situation, what happened is that they carried it to the veterinary laboratory, which at the time was staffed by a very qualified vet, which is Dr. Stevenson John, and he was able to at least give the farmers at least a reason why those birds died. But this demands good equipment, and I think that one of the issues that certainly our local poultry industry and of course the government will need to examine is that how do we equip the veterinary laboratory in the Pine, which I know Dr. Trapman has been asking for a while, with the type of equipment that will allow them to be able to respond to farmers when they face circumstances such as these. So I think that, you know, I listened to the young lady and I think that definitely that she does need help, but there are a whole myriad of issues, as she herself identified, with the whole question of the birds dying, and really what you want to see to go ahead, and a lot of small farmers have that difficulty, is that how do we get veterinary services more readily available to small farmers, so that, for instance, they are able to take the type of action that are necessary to prevent these things from happening as we go forward in expanding our local poultry industry.
This development, Senator Lisa Cummins has made a call for more equity partners in Barbados. Her comments came as she addressed the 25th anniversary dinner of Fund Access at the Sandals Resort on Saturday night. Minister Cummins told the audience such partnerships could strengthen the service offered to small and medium-sized enterprises.
It is time for us to become partners with the credit unions of this country, with the financing institutions of the region, to be able to expand the scope of what you do to create a greater level of financing for small and medium-sized enterprises, to create blended finance opportunities so that you have a combination of debt and equity. In some instances, you will take on debt. In other instances, you will take on equity partners, and those equity partners come with expertise that sometimes we need.
Told the audience that equity partnerships bring value and expertise to the table.
Sometimes we want to be 100% in charge of something small. But if we were to partner and have the benefit of an equity partner who brings value and expertise in ways that we don't have, we could become a 50% or 60% partner in something that is magnificent. Something that is global. Something that is beyond your imagination. We need to begin to change the culture of dependence on debt and credit only.
The Anglican Bishop of Barbados, the Reverend Michael Maxwell, is saddened by the news of the pending closure of government's National Beautification Program and is calling on Barbadians to play their part to assist those who will be soon on the breadline.
I too am saddened by those many persons who will once again be on the breadline due to the government's financial position and inability to continue the beautification program. But God requires that we, His people, work towards helping these persons in whatever way we can, who lack many of the privileges or basic needs many of us may possess, and not to overlook them. Not to say it is your fault you didn't have a good education, that's why. But to help the powerless.
The Bishop Maxwell was at the time delivering the sermon at the St. Barnabas Anglican Church for the 55th anniversary of the Barbados Community College. He also praised the institution for its contributions over the years and its renewed focus on entrepreneurship.
The student body of BCC is placing great emphasis on entrepreneurship, and I dare say led by a good friend of mine, Joshua Harris, who is here present. Then sound education in related fields is certainly necessary, and surely BCC is one of those institutions offering a wide variety of subjects, of courses that will enable such an achievement in life.
Well, that's our news. Until now, we'll have more news right here on TV8 at 12 noon in the CBC Newsday. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 9 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock here on Morning Barbados. Today, Monday, the 30th of January, 2023. Thank you for joining us indeed. And now we turn our attention to love and those love matters indeed, life and love and living. And our relationship coach, Dr. Denise Charles, joins us now. Good morning to you, Dr. Denise Charles.
Good morning, Pearson. Happy Monday to you.
Likewise to you indeed. Now, the last time we met, we were talking about being crazy, love your house or mine. And you mentioned something that caused me to stop for a second and think, I'd like to talk about that. When the conversation itself can be so sweet that sometimes we lose our whole way of thinking, we lose ourselves, we get caught up in the flowery words, and then we meet a road end that we didn't necessarily want to meet. So let's talk a little bit about that. And I suspect a lot of it has to do with communication and one's receipt of communication as well.
Yes, communication is critically important in any relationship, whether romantic or not. You know, that's how we sense each other's pulse, or heartbeat. That's how we are able to gauge what the other person is thinking, what the other person is feeling. So we need to ensure that our communication is as authentic as possible. But when it comes to a love relationship, Pearson, the waters perhaps become a little bit muddied, if I could use that expression, or perhaps it becomes a little sweetened. Depends on how you look at it. Because, we don't just want to communicate in a very brash way, or we don't want to communicate in a way that is not engaging or that will not draw that person to us. We want to use our communication in a way that actually enamors that person to us and draws them to us and draws them into our space. So I think that is why we tend to use the type of language that we do when it comes to love. And sometimes that can do what it's expected to do, or it can accomplish what the individual wants it to achieve, or sometimes it can cause us to pause and think a little bit deeper.
Well, a lot of that could probably be based upon our past experiences or particular biases as well, because it could very well be, he could very well be quite genuine in sharing that sweet talk, but she, because of her past experience, thinks there's a little catch here when there might not even be. So talk to me, how do those people in that relationship put aside those past experiences, put aside those prejudices and biases to be able to really detect whether this sweet talk is for real?
Pearson, let me say first, sweet talk is good. When I heard what this topic was going to be about today, I went into my treasure chest, right?
Talk to me.
What I have in my hand here, Pearson?
What are those?
Old-time love letters.
Wow.
Okay, old-time love letters. These are so old. I'm ashamed to tell you how old they are, and I still have them, right?
Yes.
Old-time love letters from my husband when he wasn't my husband,
yes.
And obviously we used lots of sweet talk back then to communicate with each other and to share how we felt about each other. When I read that just last night, I couldn't believe the amount of I love yous I saw, on the paper.
Yes.
I like to share my life and my story, because I understand that sweet talk and sharing how we feel with that person, whether we do it through writing or whether we do it through face-to-face speaking, it's very, very important. And today, letters have sort of gone out of style, at least the type of letters that we wrote back in the day, and everything is communicated via social media, WhatsApp, sliding into somebody's DMs, etc. So that is very important still. The idea is there, even though the vehicle has changed, it is still important to communicate how we feel. And I think being able to judge whether that communication or what has been communicated is authentic or not is dependent on a lot of factors. We can't just look at the talk in isolation. We have to think, is this person really demonstrating to me that it's me? Are they just saying what they're saying to get their way with me, to get an advantage in some way or the other, whatever that advantage may be? Or are they demonstrating in different ways how they really feel about me? Is he just bringing me flowers on Valentine's? Valentine's coming up very soon.
Yes.
Is he just buying me chocolate and wine and lingerie, etc.? Or is he demonstrating that he really cares about me by perhaps, if I'm a mother, maybe I'm a single mother, he's helping me perhaps look after my child in some way, or he is providing me some sound financial advice if that's his thing, or he's taking the time to just massage my feet when there's no special occasion and he's not looking for anything in return. Is she looking after, helping me do something that I need to do, get organized in some way, because we women are already great organizers.
Yeah.
So it's all about whether the individual is actually demonstrating love, because love is an action.
Yes.
It is not just what we say, it is how we treat that person. It's how we help them to feel valued, how we help them to feel that they're really a critical and important part of our lives. So I think the words have to back up the action. We don't just want flowery words. We don't just want sweet talk. But at the same time, Pearson, we want to embrace sweet talk because it's wonderful. It's all sweet talk because sweet.
You're right.
You want to feel that you're beautiful and that you're attractive and that you're told these things.
Yes. But you're going to get some men who are going to say, but I am a talker. I am not a talker. So therefore, she expects now to see the demonstration of that. But he's also going to say, but I have never had the examples, so I don't know what to do. and you meet that conundrum, but he genuinely has it in his heart because he loves his partner. So talk to me a little bit about how he can manage this sweet talk, based upon everything you've just said, how critical it is, how he can manage this relationship when he's not flowery, he's not able to demonstrate it in the way you've described.
You know, Pearson, you know, you guys, you know what your guys' problem is?
What?
When you have moved in for the kill and you have caught that bird, you forget all about the trouble you went to get her, you know? So it's not that y'all don't have the capacity to do it. After you caught the bird, you forget. And you kind of take it for granted. You take her for granted.
Oh.
So it's not, I know that men tend to be not as much talkers, they're not as verbal. Generally, I'm generalizing here because there are men that are really, really very verbal and are very good at this as well. So
yes.
Kudos to you guys who go all out, you know. But there are a few men, or maybe many men, who tend not to be as verbal. Some of us say they're not as in touch with their feelings, perhaps because of socialization. Sometimes we don't raise our boys in ways to help them to be more expressive. I think we're trying to reverse a lot of that now. And certainly myself, as a mother, when my children were small, I raised them to be very expressive, and I would always talk to them about how they felt. So getting boys in touch with their feelings by using feelings, vocabulary with them, and helping them to express how they feel is very critical, parents, right? But now that we move into adulthood, I think it is important to continue to hone those skills. As women, we can sometimes model what we're looking for in a relationship to the men in our lives. They may not always do it exactly as we want, but I think we can model, we can talk to them about it. Don't take it for granted that they don't know what to do and that they'll never do it. So therefore, we remain unhappy in this area. I'm always one for advocating how we feel about our relationship and what is important to us. But I think men also have to take some relationship responsibility. I know we women, we like to own the relationship and we like to channel it into the right direction. But we need our men also to stand up and to lead and take some responsibility in the relationship. You know what a woman likes. You know a woman likes to talk. You know a woman likes to hear. She likes to hear words. We like to hear words. That's how we are. We're very verbal. So therefore, hone your skills in this area. And also be yourself. Don't try to be exactly like her, or don't try to be like the brother or the other guy. Just be yourself. I think we women, when we sense that a man really loves us, we're going to connect with their sense of genuineness. We want them to be real. We want them to be authentic. If you can't say it, write it. It's a lot easier today, I guess, where texting is concerned. But we don't want to know that you can only text certain things, but then when we're together, you can't really talk, because there's nothing like having those things done live and in living color, Pearson. Oh, okay. Okay, so when it comes to loving ourselves and loving our partner, we want to ensure that we get what we require from a relationship, because sometimes in relationships, we become so focused on what our partner is giving to us that we forget that it is also important to know what we want. And as I tell people when we are preparing them for marriage, it is important not just to give love to someone else and to know what you want to have from them in your relationship, but it's also important to know what you value for yourself. And when you know what you value for yourself because you love yourself, then you're going to be demanding the right things. And demanding the right things does not necessarily mean making that individual feel uncomfortable because you're not getting what you want, but it means really extending yourself to them and sharing with them how you want to make that relationship better and how you want them to help you make that relationship better. Because when they're in a space where they can help you to make that relationship better, then you feel you're not doing it all alone. You're not just bending over backwards. And when it comes to us women, sometimes we feel like the ones who are going all out. We feel like the ones, as I've said in a previous a previous session that we had, Pearson, we feel like the ones who are, we're always out there doing everything. We're trying to make the relationship work. We're trying to bring things back into the right rhythm, as it were. Sometimes when we lose that rhythm, and we expend so much energy doing that, but it's maybe we do want to feel as well that our men are making the effort. They are making the effort to connect. They are making the effort to make us feel loved. And I think we've all heard about the love languages, and we all know that we experience love, and we prefer to experience love in particular ways. We want to feel that we are being loved in the way that we prefer to be loved. And for some of us, that means being spoken to, being shared with genuinely by that individual who loves us, and having them, as I said earlier, not just say that they love us, but having them demonstrate it through actions, whether those actions be acts of giving, whether they be acts of just kindness, whatever it is, we want to feel that sense of love communicated to us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of some book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Matchback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade, or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good, but come on back. I will never leave you nor forsake you. I know you know that, right? Dr. Denise Charles, our relationship coach. Here, because see, never leave you nor forsake. He's not the only one who uses those words. I can use them too.
Very good, excellent.
All right, I was asking you about date night, which is coming up. So talk to me a little bit about date night, and can we all be a part of date night?
Hey, Pearson, you know that we started this date night thing live when we were on lockdown. We weren't doing date nights before we were. We've been doing it for many, many years. My husband and I usually go out on Friday nights together. But when we were on lockdown, we decided to take it to the public via my Facebook page, and in that we are moving into the month of love. This Friday is February 3rd. I think that's the first Friday night in February.
Yes.
We're starting off with our first date night live, and we don't just do it as date night where we dance and so on. We do that, but we also share some great tips. So this first one is called Loving a Woman, and my husband will be taking the lead. So many of you guys can tune in. You can just log on to my Facebook page. It's very easy to be found. Just type in my name, Denise Charles. If you go to my IG page as well, there's a link in the bio to my Facebook page. And you can just send me a friend request if you want to. You don't have to, but you can find me there. And yeah, we'll be doing Date Night Live, looking at Loving a Woman on Friday night.
Oh, Gabriel boy, the challenge is yours.
Valentine's from early. We're going to have our red glow on. We're going to be sipping some wine, dancing to some wonderful love tunes of the 80s and 90s, and just having a good old time sharing some great relationship tips with you.
That is nice. It's Friday night, folks. What time?
It starts at 8 p.m.
Good.
Just after the news.
That's a good way to put it. Just after the news on Friday night, switch on to a social. And let's get involved in the date night. How to treat this woman, how to get her, to dine her, how to keep her, all of those things by Gabriel Charles. And so Dr. Denise Charles, you find her on social media, and that's exactly where we can have our date night this Friday and in the month of February as well, all part of the Love series with Dr. Denise Charles. Dr. Charles, I want to thank you as always for joining me this morning. I know you've got so many people's tongues wagging right now about the sweet talk. I can well imagine the conversations. And oh, by the way, when we were finished last week. When we finished last week, I got this big long essay from one of our viewers. I forgot to share it with you. I shall do so before we're done. To agree with everything that you've said, because she too herself has experienced what we talked about last week. And so this cohabitating thing. And so I'm sure that other people are going to want to talk to today as well. So when they do, I'll share it with you to show that they're really appreciating the sessions with us indeed. But thank you so much for joining again. You're welcome. We'll catch up soon. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Morning Barbados takes a break here. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 28 minutes now after 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to the upcoming Richard Stout T20 Cricket Classic and Kids Fun Day happening on the grounds of the Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology right here in the Pine, right here just behind us at the CBC. To talk to us about it and why it is and what's happening on the day, we're happy to be joined this morning online by the organizer himself, Hamilton Lashley, along with Ambassador David Comishong. In studio with me, his face is right there, that's Rodney Simpson. He's the technical director indeed. To each of you, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Lashley, I'll start with you. Pulling this together, the Richard Stout T20 Classic and Kids Fun Day, what does it mean? Why are we doing this?
Well, Pearson, it has been long overdue in the first place. We took on this project primarily because I really believe that the worth and the work that Richard Stout talent competition is one that, in my view, It's iconic idea and also an institution. And therefore, it is one that hundreds of Barbadian young people came out of. Hundreds of Barbadian young people look up to him as a kind of role model that have really fashioned their lives and fashioned their future. And so we felt that it's most worthwhile that we honor this great son of our Barbadian soil by holding this the benefit, we call it a benefit, we call it a fundraiser, but most of all, what it is really we are honoring him for the outstanding work that he have done over the years. Now, Pearson, many Barbadians would not know, but perhaps this is a grand opportunity that I could say that I've known Richard for a very long, long time. And what people don't know, that he's a very good cricketer. I mean that he played for our BCL team in the pine called West Ham way back then. I also knew him when he used to perform for my mother, her hotel drummer, Beach Hotel over in Worthing at the time. But what strikes me most about Richard is his humility and his humanity, how he contributes to the poor in Barbados. Wherever someone is in desperate straits, you can find Richard lending his assistant and ready to help those who are really in need. And perhaps we felt that this is our now to honor this great man of our soil. And we are hoping that on this particular day, which is next Saturday, not this Saturday coming, the 11th of February, that we asking all Barbadians to come to Wildy playing field right behind you there, Pearson. The playing field right behind you, that picturesque ground that right behind you, to come and support this wonderful cause for this great man. And perhaps, Pearson, one other thing is that I have been talking to Mr. Orlando Hines and Jeffrey, who used to be a former cameraman with CBC, in a triangular phone call. And, you know, it was marvelous, the ideas that came out of these two men also. Orlando is in New York, Miami's on the eastern seaboard. But here he's planning to come into Barbados for the match. And perhaps this is the time that I could urge all persons living in the diaspora to you can support it from in the diaspora by sending your donations, by tuning into the match and expressing your sentiments about Richard yourself. But one thing I'm sure that Orlando is going to do is going to bring in a nice pair of white boots. And where we are going to raffle it, because you know, Richard, the consummate entertainer, over the years have always been very fashionable and always been very meticulous in his wear. But perhaps another thing that we should know about Richard is that he's also a disciplinarian. And one who I believe that, you know, we need more Richard Stouts in Barbados. But the nagging question in Barbados right now, and perhaps David and others might want to answer that also, Rodney, is why to this point Richard have not been nationally honored in this country as yet. And I find it very baffling. And I find it, you know, sometimes to be very subjective. But we are hoping that this occasion, you know, this activity that we are doing will live to that expectations, and Barbadians, most of all, will join us in this activity. We have a special book at the entrance. Remember, it's $10. It is $10 for adults, children, absolutely free. But we want everyone to sign that book, because we are sending a national petition to the committee that organizes these things, so that Richard himself will be given his due justice.
I know you've been a part of his journey, Richard's journey thus far. You've been lockstep about along the way with him as well. Talk to me a little bit, and I know you also believe in celebrating successful Barbadians and recognizing our own. Talk to me a little bit about who Richard is and why this classic should be supported by everyone on the 11th.
Well, David Collins, Honorable.
Yes, Ambassador will tell me about that. Ambassador.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Pearson. Thank you, Ami. Yes, I've been involved with Richard now for 15 years, all of the workshops for the teen talent competition are done at the Clement Payne Cultural Center there on Crumpton Street. And so I just want to correct one thing Hammy said. It's not that Richard hasn't received a national honor. Richard is the recipient of the Gold Crown of Merit. I should also say he's the recipient of the Clement Payne National Hero Award, awarded to him by the Clement Payne movement. But I think what concerns Barbadians is that he has not been given the country's highest award. He has not been designated the most honorable Richard Stout, on par with his good friend, the mighty Gabby and Carter, or that other cultural icon, Alambe Motley. So many Barbadians feel that Richard is in that same category and should be given our country's highest honor. I feel that way as well. And, you know, everybody, we tend to talk a lot about the teen talent and how much he has done with teen talent for 47 years now, almost approaching a half century. But I want to focus a little bit on Richard Stout, the Barbadian artist and entertainer, par excellence. And in every field, Pearson, there's an exemplar, there's a model.
Yes.
There's the gold standard that should always be held up as someone as a standard to aspire to. In cricket, Sir Frank Warren. In the field of Barbadian literature, Kamal Braffett, George Lammy. Well, in the sphere of music and entertainment, Richard Stout, you know, Richard Stout represents the quintessential Barbadian artist. I mean, this guy, whether it is the island songs, Goodbye Now My Bajan Girl,
yes,
whether it is Spooge, our national beat, Any Day Now, Vehicle, Pretty Blue Eyes, whether it is his relationship with Jackie Opel and his recording of Jackie Opel classics like I Am Free, whether it is Richard Stout, one of the world's greatest soul singers.
Yes.
And Richard Stout is one of the greatest soul singers of them all. You know, to go and listen to I Hate to Do My Woman Wrong, or What's the Use of Loving Somebody. Whether it is the jazz artists, listen to Richard Stout, softly, all his jazz classics. Whether it is Calypso, Richard Stout, Hey Mr. Richman,
yes,
show some respect for me. Richard Stout did it all. And Hammy, not only the dress, not only the white shoes, the signature stylings, but the dance. You know, whether it was a Spooge dance, it is the soul dance. He was he is, not was, because he still doesn't perform as much now, but he is the consummate artist. And I think that his work needs to be promoted more, because his example has a lot to teach young Barbadian artists. So we need to embrace Richard Stout. Richard is now, 77 years old. We need to embrace this icon. We need the radio stations, CBC TV. We need to make more use of the man's work. Expose the younger generation to this great body of authentic Barbadian artistry.
Absolutely so. And so we can't do enough really to celebrate this outstanding Barbadian indeed. And so on the 11th of February will be the Richard Stout T20 Cricket Classic and Fun Day. It's a whole day of activities. The technical director is Mr. Simpson, Rodney Simpson. Rodney, good morning to you. Tell us what we can expect on that day.
Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. We're hosting Fun Day for the kids, starting from 12, where we have the slides, horseback riding, face painting, rodeo bull.
Wow.
You know, full kid stuff.
Yes.
As Mr. Lashley said, it's free for children, right? Children under 12 is free. Adults pay $10. The person come for the Fun Day, and the tickets still go over to the match. Then at 6 o'clock, we have the entertainers performing. We have Bumba, we have Shirley Stewart, we have Orlando Hines, who travel all from the USA to perform. We also have Adrian Clark, we have Blood, we have Bud Chandler, and many others. Then at 7:30, we also have the Richard Stout team talent performing.
Yes.
All right. At 7:30 is the feature match.
That is where the battle starts,
Yes,
right? The battle starts. So talk to me about who we can expect, the teams we can expect.
Right. It's 11-11 Hamilton Lashley Lions versus the Northcrest Entertainers Tigers. This match is a play for Shield, Richard Stout Challenge Shield, because it's an annual match we're holding. It's not a one-off. So we have players in the entertainers team like Joe Clark, which is Hee-Haw, singing them. Hee-Haw. We have Colin Spencer. We have Adrian Clark. You know, on the foundation team, we have Renico Allen, you have Jordan Jones, Richard Sampson. We have Ronald Graham, the former Barbados player. He's traveled all the way from Canada to team up with the entertainers team for this match.
Right.
So what we do have to, because as the technical coordinator, want this match to be a high-pitched type of match, because I always feel like Richard was all this kind of special guy, so I want to make sure that this match be a special match. You don't want it, you just put it six stumps and just bat and ball. So we have all the fanfare. We're going to roll out a red carpet for Richard to walk on.
Nice.
At the presentation area, we're also going to bring the trophy by limousine with the Richard Stout cheer girls. So all of that, we're going to bring it by, we're going to have the tilt band, the tilt band, the Malasali, and also the tilt man. Right, so
it's going to be quite a festive evening.
Yeah, and then we're looking very shortly. We're working on getting at least 3 players from former West Indies players to come in to play in the game. But we got the names now. By next shortly, we will know who we bring in. Right, so we want to catch to that level. So I am calling on the Bajan public to really come out and support this match. Really come out. I think we should have done a lot over the years. I was a victim to his goodness, because when I was playing at Spartan, he meet me. I never know nothing about him. I see this body well dressed, white shoes on, come to me and say, "Son, you got gullibility." He asked me if I work, and I tell him no. So he asked me how much stuff getting paid. I said my mother's struggling to pay the subs, and he tell me, "Man, look, come and get Carlton. I'm going to take care of you." And he did. I went Carlton, and Richard paid all of my subs. Came at the bar, tell the barman whatever you want, give him. So I could detest the type of individual. I ain't just saying it because we're here. I was a victim of his goodness, and I feel very, as the technical coordinator, that I could give back Richard what he gave to me. And I hope the whole of Barbados could do the same thing, because I think have touched the lives of the young, the old, the underprivileged. So I'm calling on every Barbadian on the level, come to SUPI and say thank you, Richard, for what you have done to Barbados.
That is a wonderful testimony indeed there, coming from the technical director, Rodney Simpson. It's on the 11th of February. That's a Saturday. 12 noon is when the Children's Fun Day starts. It's going to be all sorts of wonderful things out there on the grounds of the SJPI, just behind us here at the CBC. So if you know where to find CBC, and you do, then you come through, and there you can find parking. Let's talk a little bit about that, Mr. Lashley, the parking, because you know it's going to get pretty heavy with a lot of people coming.
Yep. Well, yes, we will have specialized parking and reserve parking, not really reserved in the sense that you know that the people prevent spaces. SJPI, also CBC car park for the especially persons that we have parking all around adjacent are very close to actually where the game is being played. But so the Sunday want to sound a warning. This is the first step I'm referred by paradise. And they have a lot of Tigers will defeat the entertainers and for a 40-run victory. I know that David, you're backing Richard entertainers against my Tigers. But we the Tigers will grow, and you will be in a depressed state of mood after that game is being played. So we are ready for it, Pearson, and we are hoping to see you there too.
Well, Ambassador Kamashaw, a challenge has been issued to you, sir.
Myself and David, we are reserved 13 men.
I see. Ambassador, I'll give you a chance to respond.
Well, we shall see. We the Stout crew, we don't engage in boasting.
Yes.
We let our deeds talk for us. we don't, all this is idle talk now. So I want Bajans to come out and see. You heard Hamilton Lashley's threat this morning on national. I'm speaking for Richard Stout now. We are not going to respond verbally to that threat, but we are going to do it on the field of play. So I want Bajans to come out and demonstrate what we will do on the field of play.
All right. It's on Saturday the 11th, everybody. Now, mind you, adults, you're going to pay $10. We pay at the door, or do we need to get a ticket before? How does it work?
Rodney?
Rodney.
These tickets out. There'll be tickets at the door, and there's tickets out. Any person want a ticket. Tickets at 1111 Restaurant. That is First Avenue, Belleville, or you can call 289-3908. 289-3908.
Right, that's the number to call, or go to the 1111 bar in Belleville and get your ticket. Get it early and get your spot. It's going to be cricket under the lights here at the SJPI grounds. That means it's going to be a really delightful evening. Yes, Rodney?
851-0850.
851-0850. Gotcha. 850. All right. Yeah. And remember to get your tickets very, very early, because it's going to be a really good next Saturday, the 11th, right here at the SJPI ground, just behind the CBC. From 12 noon, children are absolutely free, but the adults, you pay $10. And it's a really good kid zone that they're going to be having all sorts of things for the children to delight themselves with. And then in the evening is when we're going to see all those spectacular performances from 6 o'clock by some outstanding entertainers on the island, all paying tribute to Richard Stout indeed, but also being there to entertain you. And then the cricket match gets going from 7:30. It's a T20, the Hamilton Lashley Lions versus the Entertainment Tigers. It's going to be a ding-dong battle, but we want you all to be there. Everybody come down in numbers. Ample parking spaces here at the CBC, at the SJPI along the way as well. You find your spot and you come. But you pay $10 as an adult. Children are free. It's going to be quite a day of festivity indeed. And we'll keep you up to date on what's happening. Keep listening to the radio stations of CBC. Keep watching us here on Morning Barbados as well. As the day gets nearer, we'll be reminding you all the time about why you should be there and how you can be there and what will be happening on that day as well, on the 11th of February. I want to thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much, Hamilton Lashley of the Hamilton Lashley Foundation, organizers indeed, Ambassador David Kamashaw, who always lends his support to everything good and great Barbados, and you too, Rodney Simpson, the technical director of this outstanding T20 Classic and Fun Day. And we can't wait now but to encourage all of you to be a part of it indeed. Have a good morning, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We'll take a break right here on Morning Barbados. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you're an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update radio throughout the day, and join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special?
Morning, morning, good morning, good morning to you.
8 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. 8 minutes you have to unscramble some letters. Are you ready? Now, if you think you are, you should call me on 228-5562 or 228-5563. Those are the numbers to call. When we place those scrambled letters on the screen, you figure it out yourself. And then you give me a call yourself and let me know the word you think you discover when you unscramble the letters. Look at the first one on your screen now. It's right there, right before you. Tell me the word tape nice. Tell me the word you can make when you unscramble those letters on your screen right now. They are in complete disarray, but they make a word. They make a very good word, as a matter of fact. Your challenge, if you accept it, is to give me a call having unscrambled the letters and tell me the word you see. 228-5562, 228-5563. Those are the only numbers to call to give to me the word you see on your screen. 228-5562 or 228-5563. I know for those of you overseas, it could be a little bit of a challenge because you're a little bit later, but that's all right. If you want to try, remember the area code is 246. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
My name is... I'm fine, thank you.
That's all right. What your name is? What's your name?
Hello?
Hi. Don't listen to your television. Do not listen to your TV. Do not listen to your TV. Listen to your telephone.
Yeah.
What is your name?
Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. What parish are you watching from?
Christchurch.
Jennifer of Christchurch. Do you think you know the word on your screen? Jennifer? Jennifer, gonna listen to the TV again. When you guys call, do not listen to your television. It is going to be behind what you hear on your telephone. Listen, the way you call someone, you talk to someone on the phone, the same way. Same way, Jennifer. Oh, we got another one then? Okay, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you today?
Good.
Good. What's your first name?
Haley.
It is Haley, the bright and brilliant Haley. Haley, let's see. What word do you have for me today?
Patience.
Haley, are you absolutely certain?
Yes, please.
Spell patience for me, Haley.
Patience.
You, Haley, you're absolutely right. Well done, Haley. Have a great day at school today, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Haley. Haley's right. Haley put you all in the shame. Haley's right, is patience. That's the first word we gave to you to unscramble this morning. Patience. And sometimes we need a whole dose of that. New word to bring to you on your screen now. Look at this one. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I myself do not know. I have to look. Oh, I got it. I got it now. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Do you have it? Can you determine what word this is? Can you? Can you really? 228-5562 or 228-5563. We have 5 more minutes remaining. Can you tell me the word you see on your screen once you put those letters, lots E's, in order? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I think you can spot this easily. I think you can. Prove it to me that you can. 228-5562 or 63. Good morning. Hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I am doing well, thank you for asking. How was your weekend?
My weekend was good, relaxing.
Oh, really? Really? Listen, what did you do?
What did I do? Nothing.
And that made it good?
Yes. If you
Doing
work
nothing.
If you work hard during the week, why should you work on weekends?
If I work hard during the week, but I still have things to do on the weekend?
Well, I should all work during the week.
Fair enough, fair enough. What's your first name?
Sonia.
So, it is you, Sonia. Let me hear you, Sonia. What's the answer?
Elevate.
Wrong. What's the answer?
Elevate.
Sonia, you're right, man. Go along, Sonia. Have a good day here.
You have a good day, person, too.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you so very much indeed. She's absolutely right. Elevate. Is it? Now, see, I told you it would have been easy. What can you do with those consonants, the T and the L and the V? That's the only word I can think of, too. Let's give you another word today to unscramble, shall we? Let's see if you can figure this. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Now, this one, verily, verily, I say unto you, will take you some time to sort out. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word can you make with this one? Let me see if I could figure it out myself. I got it. I've got it. I got it now. Can you figure it out yourself? I just did. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how do you do?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Who is calling?
Sandra.
Hello, Sandra. Sandra or
Sandra.
That's a different name. Well done. What parish are you watching from, Sandra?
Christchurch.
Sandra of Christchurch. Sandra of Christchurch. Prove to me you know the word on the screen. Let me hear you.
Thrive.
Sandra, I said prove to me that you know the word on the screen.
It's thrive. Thrive.
You're sticking with that. You're sticking with that, Sandra. Sandra?
Yes.
Are you sticking with that as your final answer?
I'm sticking with thrive as my final answer.
I want to give you one more chance to amend your answer if you want to. So
no,
what are you going to take? You're not. Are you absolutely certain?
I am absolutely certain.
How was your weekend, Sandra?
Wonderful as always.
Really? What did you do?
What did I do? I worked around my home,
and
that makes it great.
Oh, you love housework.
Had a sea bath as well.
Oh, sweet. What beach did you go to?
Browns Beach.
All the way down to Browns Beach?
Yes, all the way down to Browns Beach. It's the
from
best one around
Christchurch
for now.
Oh, that's your favorite beach?
Yes, it is.
Why? Because it's for you the biggest beach there is?
Well, because it's lovely. It's the sand and the water is low and it's calm and it's nice.
And you couldn't find that at Enterprise Beach?
Yes, but it's a little bit mossy and it needs a little cleaning. So
Enterprise Beach.
It is right now.
Fair enough. Sandra, you're absolutely right. The word is thrive. Well done. Well done, Sandra. Thank you so much for calling. Have a great day, okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye indeed. She's absolutely right. Now, that's it for today. Thank you so much, folks. Tomorrow, if time permits and it be God's will, I'll have more words for you to unscramble, okay? Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. My producer today has been Alicia Osgrant. She's back from holiday. Hope she had a wonderful holiday. Our technical director, Don Greenidge, along with Ruel Ford. Sound has been Christopher Blenman, and at Master Control, Tamisha Green, and Pearson Boyne. For all of them, to each of you, we say thank you. We look forward to see you again tomorrow. Take care now and bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special?